We were forecasted to get snow, but you can see how disappointed I am. We just got cold rain. But that's okay. We're going to build a fire, we're going to have homemade soup, and we're going to do some crafts. So come along with me, step inside the living room. Got a nice fire going in the fireplace, and we're just going to have a really warm and cozy day. The puppy's on the couch resting, hubby's in his recliner. So let's get busy and make some delicious homemade vegetable beef soup. This soup is quick and easy to make and so delicious. So you're going to need a little over a pound of Hamburger. I've got some onions and celery from the freezer, some baby lima beans, some corn, some carrots, potatoes, and I'm going to be using my Better Than Bouillon beef flavor, some tomatoes. You're going to need some pasta sauce for this and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. So in the first step, in a big pot, I have browned my Hamburger, and I'm adding in the chopped onion and celery. I'm going to let that get translucent. Stir that in my big pot, and you know, for years I have made soup in this pot, and I've always made too much because my family was here. But now that they're all married and gone, I'm going to start slimming this soup pot down. So after I brown the beef, I'm going to put it in that pretty Dutch oven. Now I'm going to add some of my homemade seasoning salt. I added salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. Give it another stir, and then we're going to cook it until all of that onion is nice and translucent. Then we're going to be adding in some beef broth, and I am all out of my homemade beef broth, but I do have the Better Than Bouillon. So I'm going to take 4 cups of hot water and mix in a big heaping tablespoon of the Better Than Bouillon. If you've not tried that, it is so delicious and makes for a great pot of soup. All right, we're going to go ahead and move that soup over to my smaller Dutch oven. I'm going to be halving all of those vegetables you saw on the counter. And here is the soup. I added in the corn, the quart of tomatoes. I've got the peas and carrots, and about a half a bag of the lima beans. And I'm going to add in a half a jar of pasta sauce. And that just really deepens the flavor, thickens the soup up, and it's just a really neat trick to make a good pot of soup. So I have everything in here except the potatoes, and I want to cook this. I want to cook those baby lima beans before I add in the potatoes. I'm going to put that on the stove, bring it to a gentle boil. Then once I've cooked it for about 20 minutes, I'm going to go in now and add those potatoes. I had 3 russet potatoes that I just diced up, and we're going to cook this on a low simmer until those potatoes are tender. And that's it. Your soup is done. Don't need to add any other seasonings. It's perfectly seasoned. I did add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to make some quick and easy fried cornbread, which I love with soup. So I've got 2 cups of just regular cornmeal. This is not self-rising. This is just regular cornmeal. I'm going to add in 2 heaping tablespoons of self-rising flour. And then we're going to add in about a teaspoon of salt. You may want to test it to see if it tastes salty enough for you. And then we're going to go over to the sink, and we're just going to slowly add water until we get the consistency that we want for our batter. Fried cornbread is so good. You could even add some chopped onions or some chopped jalapeno peppers if you wanted a hot cornbread. But I just keep adding a little bit of water at a time. You don't want too much water, but you need enough water to make a nice batter. And that is about the thickness that I want, just kind of rolling off the spoon right here. So I've got some vegetable oil on the stove heating, and we're just going to drop these by spoonfuls right into the hot grease. Now you do not leave this, you stay right with it. We're going to turn these constantly as they're cooking because we don't want one side to burn. So turn, and then when it is a nice golden brown, your cornbread is done, and you can place it on a paper towel to drain. But you have to stay right there with it the whole time. I used a kind of a medium-high heat You do probably need to cut it down to medium once it's been frying. So there is the right color that you want, and when you crack it open, there's some holes in there, and boy, this is so good. I ate 2 or 3 pieces before we even had dinner. It was delicious. I love fried cornbread. All right, now we're ready to put the soup in the bowls. Look at that beautiful, hot, delicious hamburger vegetable soup. It was so good. We thoroughly enjoyed this. And then we're going to serve this with cornbread. My husband prefers saltine crackers, which is fine. More cornbread for me. Then we had a very nice, delicious, and healthy lunch. Of course, we're Southern, so we have to have our sweet tea, but it was a very good meal. And take a piece of that cornbread and you sop it in that vegetable juice. Yum, it is so good. And I got plenty of leftovers, and I'm so glad I went and used the smaller pot. All right, let's move on to some crafts, and we're going to make a winter pillow. I found this idea on Pinterest, and I really needed to blow it up because it was too small, but I could not do that at home. So I just cut out my pieces a little bigger than the pattern. Got these snowflakes that I purchased. I'll leave a link to those below. Then I cut out all the windows in the snow, and I'm going to use some heat and bond to adhere all of these pieces to some fabric I had in my stash. And we're going to make a pillow. So I'm using felt, some backing for the pillow, snowflakes, and heat and bond. And what you do is you just lay your pieces on the heat and bond, cut it out, and then iron it to the back. And then you peel off the backing and you place everything where you want it on your fabric, and then you go back over with your iron, pressing everything down, and it holds it nicely in place. So that took quite a bit of time of cutting all these little pieces out, putting the heat and bond on the back, and then putting them in place. And then I go over everything with that hot little iron. Now the snowflakes I did machine sew those on, but I wanted to take some embroidery thread and go back and put in the window panes. Just do some primitive stitching around the snow and around the houses, and I think it turned out really nice. So I'm getting everything in place, and then we're going to iron it down. It's a very simple process. Just take some time getting all of that backing off of those pieces. You can see that shiny side. That is the glue that will put it down and hold it for us while we sew. And there it is. So let's get busy pressing and getting it ready to do some hand embroidery on. Right, this is the finished top, but I wanted you to see around the tops of the houses and the windows how I just hand embroidered those little stitches around. Just adds a little personal touch. Um, and I thought it turned out nice. I put some gold doorknobs on the doors and just run around each piece. And then I went back with my machine and sewed those snowflakes right onto the fabric. I added some pretty snow at the bottom. Then once it is all done, I cut out a back matching the front, took it to the sewing machine, sewed all the way around, and then I stuffed it with some polyfill, sewed up the hole, and I think it looks so pretty and festive for winter in my living room. I've got my living room all decorated for winter. This was such an easy thing, and I will leave a link to that Pinterest board where you can find that pattern. But you could certainly make your own pattern. So let's move along and look at the winter living room, how I've got it decorated. Of course, I love my fireplace. This fireplace puts out the best heat, and we have thoroughly enjoyed it these 35 years we've been in this house. So on the mantle, I just went around and gathered things that I already had. I had that beautiful Billy Jacobs painting on the mantle. I had a frosty owl, some Christmas trees left over that I left up, and just some of my favorite snow prints, and then my lanterns and my candles that are on timers. So I think it looks very festive for winter. I will change that out in the spring. And then on this side of the room, I have a picture that my grandmother painted. She has passed away, but she loved to oil paint. I love to put it out because it reminds me of her. Onto the chair with the new pillow, and the living room is complete. Winter is the time for comfort, for good food and warmth, for the touch of a friendly hand, and for a talk beside the fire. Winter is the time for home. Thank you for visiting with me in my home. I hope you have a wonderful winter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.